Hello everybody, welcome to the Distimo webinar on the Asia, the leading app market in the world. I'm here and, sorry for that, I wrote a last report on the subject, which was released a couple of weeks ago, and with me is Crystal Schober, and she will help me out in answering questions and showing our products.
Hello everyone.
So, if everybody is here and can hear us, you can hear us? Yes? Okay, cool.
We got some yes.
We got some yes, that's good to see. Then we'll continue from now on. Crystal, you will take the first bit.
So, first of all, I think how we always start our webinars, we want to give you a short overview of who we are and what we do. So we're Distimo, and I think most of you probably read Anna's publication on Asia and probably know us a little bit, but just a few words. We basically analyze mobile app stores, and for that we support all the major app stores globally, and of course the Apple App Store for iPhone and iPad, which also has been covered here, Google Play. And in addition, we also provide data on Amazon and other app stores. And our main two products you can see here is App Analytics and App IQ. Next to that, we also provide conversion tracking and API so that you can actually export all that data in a variety of different file formats. But mainly with App Analytics, we allow you to basically take your apps and add them to our interface so that you can analyze all your numbers through all the major app stores, and also you can track your mobile ad revenue that you make with various ad networks if you have that integrated in your app. But our main product is really App IQ, and this is where Anna got all the great findings from for this report. For this product, we mainly try to estimate daily download and revenue values, which is based on the sample size that we get from our data. And this really gives you an opportunity to analyze where your app is in the market. You can compare your numbers to your competitors, you can get benchmarks, you can see how different events or campaigns may have an influence on your performance in terms of download or hopefully then rising revenues. And also you can see data about feature updates or featured in the App Store, those different periods. And you basically can look at this for your own stuff compared to all of your potential competitors that are also in the App Stores. Along with this, we just released a new leaderboard interface that is also available through App IQ. I will present that later, and we will also give you a live demo of this product at the end of this webinar. And in addition to that, I can also say that we have a mobile app for this, so you can track all this awesome data from wherever you are. But now I'll give the word back to Anna, so she can actually present some of the data about Asia.
Yeah, thank you, Crystal. Before I dive in, just let it do a short summary of how well we get this thing covered. We'll do a short recap of the main findings. I've received some questions from some of you out there about some more details about what our precise are we'll get into now. So I have some extra data prepared to answer the questions, and we'll go into that later. And then we'll use our App IQ product as well to demonstrate some of the findings from the report. But that will be very clear when we start. So this report was focused on the position of Asia and all its countries in it. As Crystal told, we based all the findings on our App IQ data on daily estimated downloads and revenues per country and per app store. We mainly focus now on the data from December 2013. Sometimes the biggest span, but that will show itself. To get even a deeper insight in the Chinese market, we've made a publication in partnership with Wenduja, a leading mobile content search engine for Android users in China, because it's such a specific market. I won't go into the specifics of that right now, but if you want to read more about it, then go to our report. So, here you see the total revenue growth in Asia by App Store. As you can see, there is an enormous growth during the last month. And as we stated in the report, Asia is the most lucrative app market in the world. And that statement is based actually on a couple of facts combined. For the first one, 41% of the total revenue globally in December 2013 came from Asia, while North America generated 31% and Europe 23%. So most of the revenue really went into Asia. That combined with the fact that revenue in Asia increased by 162%, and that is the growth as you see in the graph over here. It's big. Well, North America revenue grew only by 46%. So you can really say that it is the leading country just in terms of how much total revenue and the growth. As you can see, here is the revenue growth split up by App Store. We separated the Apple App Store for iPad, for iPhone, and for Google Play. So you can really see that it more than doubled over the year, and especially due to the growth in the Google Play Store. So that was more than quadrupled, more than 4 times as high over the last 12 months. So that's really a huge increase. On the Apple App Store as well, the revenue for iPhone nearly doubled, and for iPad it grew with 46%, which is all, even though it's small numbers compared to Google, are way bigger than the growth was in North America or Europe. So that's interesting to see how big that Asian continent does. Now going down a little, which country are the biggest ones in that continent? So here we split the countries as well by revenue to give it some coherence to the previous calendar, not split up by App Store but combined. I've asterisked the China and Malaysia because for that we only have used Apple App Store data. We did not include Google Play data. But even then you can really see the humongous difference in our top runners, Japan, South Korea, China, Taiwan, versus even that number 9 and 10, Indonesia and Malaysia. And the difference between Japan and Malaysia is 77 times. The revenue in Japan is as big as 70 times as big as in Malaysia. So that's really not evenly divided markets, to put it mildly. That's what I want to say about this. Now, going down a bit, the previous one wasn't split per App Store. Now we've lifted out the top 6 countries and split them per App Store. As I just told you, China, there is now Google Play revenue for that, but for the others there is. And you can see quite a clear distinction in countries. Google Play dominates in Japan, the number 1, South Korea, the number 2, and Taiwan, the number 4. While in Hong Kong and Singapore, number 5 and 6, Apple App Store makes most revenue. But these markets are way smaller than, obviously, the Japan and the South Korean one. So that really makes an interesting distinction among those countries. The big, making lots of revenue, Google Play dominated, and while the Apple App Store does well in some smaller Asian countries. Now, as for the business model in Asia, which is used, it's also always an interesting question. I've added the United States in this graph to give you some benchmark feelings. Usually we do a lot of analysis about the United States, and it's a big country. It's still the biggest country in total revenue, so it's good to see how they compare to that. And as you can see, clearly all those 6 countries, just as previously known, have a way more in-app revenue for free apps. So the freemium model is clearly more dominant in Asia than it is in the United States. For example, China led the way with apps generating 96% of the revenues from in-apps. Japan and South Korea were closely behind with 49% and 91% from in-apps. And while for the United States it was 81%. So that's a big difference, relatively. Now for some extra data. I've received a question: what are the categories of applications, the categories that are doing particularly well in the Asian markets? And it's always nice to look a bit more into the categories used. I've presented them per App Store in separate graphs. The top one is the category breakdown based on how much revenue is made per category for the Google Play Store, and below it's for the Apple App Store, and as well divided between iPhone and iPad. Clearly you can see that the most revenue is made in the games, all games category. And in second place in both stores, communication, social networking comes into place. And if you relate that to the US, that's quite interesting to see. There as well, all games is the biggest category, but there it's followed by music, newsstand, and then social network. On Google Play it's games, widgets, and after music and audio, then comes communicating. So you can really see that the social communication apps in Asia have it's a far more important category, and it's clearly that the Lion and the Kakao apps have an influence on that. And for other question,
maybe the next question that we received was also kind of related to the different business models, and we also looked at it by category. So the full question was, I was wondering, on the monetization, do games show a very different monetization model than other apps, for example, productivity? So this graph is just focused on Asia data, in this case for the Apple App Store for iPhone, just as an example, and the other stores behave pretty similarly, as you already saw on the slide before. But this is also something that we covered in our full year publication, that you can really see, depending on the category or even the country, different business models have different percentages of the revenue. So we differentiate here in between one-off revenue, which just relates to the price that you pay to buy an app on the App Store, and other apps that might be available also for a price can additionally offer in-app features that you have to pay in addition to purchasing the app. So that's the in-app revenue from paid apps. That's what you see in orange here. And the pink bar is in-app revenue from free apps. So when we look back at the whole store, you can clearly see that aggregated over everything, the in-app revenue from free apps is clearly dominating. This is really the business model that we see on the rise. And this data covers December 2013. And we really, over the whole year, we saw a trend to this number even more increasing. And next to the whole store on the far left, you maybe also see this very dominantly on the newsstand or on social networking, where most apps are really offered for free, but especially on the newsstand, there are lots of subscription models that we categorize in-app purchases that explain then the high revenue portion from this kind of business model. Other categories, on the contrary here, for example, business or catalogs or even education, finance, productivity, reference, where there's more kind of like tools included and things like this, they really show a higher purple bar here in this chart where you can really tell that in this category it is still possible to make some revenue with a paid business model. So just searching a one-time fee for an app and the use after that is enabled basically for free, not forcing the user to pay more money for additional features. So in Asia, this is the detailed overview with all the categories that we share here with you with additional data to this report, but also in the year publication, you can see this in general. And yeah, what is also interesting for Asia here is maybe the medical category, but also the one-off revenue shows a higher portion. And I think medical is usually not as big in the other regions.